Welcome to another episode of the Trivia Power Hour Gaming, the show where we look at gaming secrets, Easter eggs, facts, and trivia you want to know about. If you know of any more trivia, have a game, series, or developer you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. Like the video, and consider subscribing. Also, make sure to stick around to the end for where I'll announce what the focus of the next episode will be. But, for now, let's get right into the trivia. Today, we're looking at games based on arguably the most influential manga and anime series ever made, Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z Budokai was the first of many Dragon Ball games to hit the PS2 generation of consoles, with the European version actually having a good amount of differences and mistakes compared to the others. The European version of Dragon Ball Z Budokai had some major characters on the cover that were not included in the game. The box showed Spopovich, Majin Vegeta, Majin Buu, Babidi, and Dabura, all of which appear in the Buu saga of the anime, while the game's story mode only went up to the end of the Cell saga. The European version also had more censorship, specifically regarding blood. Any instances of blood were either blacked out or colored to look more like dirt than blood. Curiously, the scene where Captain Ginyu shoves his hand into his own chest was not censored at all, presumably because he had purple blood. Finally, there was no English dub available in the EU version of Budokai, with only the Japanese voice option available. On the flip side, American gamers wouldn't get the option for playing with Japanese voices until the special edition of Budokai 3. Depending on your preferences for subs or dubs, this could have been seen as a deal breaker for some. Japan got a special version of Budokai 2 called Dragon Ball Z V2, which featured exclusive additional content. Most notably, Frieza got an alternate costumes to appear as Cooler and his son Kuriza, as well as the World Martial Arts stage having a V-Jump posters along the ring. This does not allow saving, but has everything unlocked right from the start, and was made as part of a contest in Shonen Jump magazine, where only 2,000 copies were given away. Because of the limited nature of the contest, it is considered one of the rarest Dragon Ball games in existence. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 has quite a few mistakes in its subtitling. A small omission was spotted during the Cell Games Begin match of Dragon Ball history, where Cell's line of, "Why don't you pop one of those sensu beans?" is missing the S in the text. In Frieza's ultimate transformation, the line, "Now witness the power of more fearsome than death itself," is written, "Now witness the power more fearsome and death itself." In Common Enemy, Raditz's line, "You are a disgrace to our race," reads, "You are a disgrace to all race." And whenever a giant ape throws a rock, it's called Gigant, presumably instead of gigantic, just to list a few. Also in Tenkaichi 3, if Zengaya defeats Krillin, Master Roshi, or Nam, she will say,
"Don't you wish your girlfriend was tough like me? Don't you?"
referencing the popular song. Tenkaichi 3 also has an astounding 161 characters in a game, the largest roster not only in any DBZ game, but any fighting game made. In the Legacy of Goku 2 game for the GBA, there are several SNES games on display in an electronics store. Even though the box arts are pixelated, 4 have been identified as Final Fantasy IV, A Link to the Past, Secret of Mana, and Super Metroid. Dragon Ball Fusions has 4 characters that can only be accessed through special QR codes, and only in the Japanese version of the game. These characters are Gohanks, a fusion of future Trunks and future Gohan, Tanks, Tapion and Trunks, Great Herculeman, Great Saiyaman and Hercule, and Gorus, Goku and Beerus. Gorus was also added to the game via a contest where fans submitted characters they wanted to see included. 2 achievements or trophies in Dragon Ball Xenoverse appear to have been accidentally swapped from their descriptions. The achievement called the Full Superpower is unlocked by collecting all ultimate attacks, while the Full Ultimate Power is unlocked by collecting all super attacks. This next one's gonna sound like a convoluted conspiracy theory, but I found it kind of fun, so just don't take it too seriously. The acronym for Xenoverse is XV, or 15 as a Roman numeral. Xenoverse is also the 15th Dragon Ball game to come out since the first Budokai, which were also developed by Dimps. If the player picks custom character voice number 8, they might find the actor kind of familiar. Curtis Arnott, who you may know as the voice of Nappa in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, lends his voice to the game, along with shouting out some parody attack names.
Candyman can! Kamahama ha! 10 to the Kamehameha! 1, 2, row! Sham! Paper! Stick! Go get 'em!
Another Easter egg in Tenkaichi 3 is when Nappa pokes a little fun at how the Super Saiyan transformation works. If you sit on the Versus menu for long enough, Nappa will ask,
Hey, think if I went Super Saiyan, my goatee would grow?
This is a reference to how a pure Saiyan's hair supposedly never changes from birth. Facial hair doesn't appear to follow that rule, but we've unfortunately never seen anyone go Super Saiyan while sporting any kind of beard to know what would actually happen. Dragon Ball FighterZ, the latest Dragon Ball game, holds the record for the fastest selling Dragon Ball game ever made, as well as being the best-selling game Arc System Works ever developed. The game sold over 2 million copies less than a week after going on sale, and at that point hadn't even been released in Japan yet. Despite the worldwide popularity of the Dragon Ball franchise, with an especially big fan base in places like Mexico, FighterZ was only released in 2 language options, Japanese and English. Unfortunately, Bulma's voice actor, Hiromi Tsuru, passed away on November 16, 2017, after completing her lines for FighterZ. She had been acting since 1961 and had been the voice of Bulma since 1986, over 30 years. Because the voice cast, both English and Japanese, are talented and versatile enough to voice multiple characters in the show, the same ended up voicing a large amount of characters in FighterZ. Masako Nozawa voiced Goku, Goku Black, both versions of Gohan, Bardock, and one half of Gotenks. However, even she can't match the 8 characters Christopher Sabat played, which was Vegeta, Piccolo, Yamcha, Recoome, Burter, Jeice, Shenron, and Purunga. FighterZ was actually not the first Dragon Ball game Arc System Works worked on. They developed Dragon Ball Z Supersonic Warriors 1 and 2 for the GBA and DS, as well as Extreme Butoden for the 3DS. The very first Dragon Ball video game ever made was Dragon Ball Dragon Daikyo for Super Cassette Vision in 1986. Players would control Goku on his Nimbus in an overhead shoot-'em-up style game, and it was released by Epoch. This would be the only Dragon Ball game released without any involvement from Bandai, or later Namco Bandai. The first Dragon Ball game released in America that came out in 1988, which was well before the show started airing in 1996. Because of this, the game was renamed to be Dragon Power, along with many content changes. The second game released followed a similar trend. Dragon Ball GT, A Final Bout, came out in 1997, a full 6 years before GT would begin airing. Any fans of the show were sure to be confused, and most likely got a lot of things spoiled for them. Considering how poor of a game Final Bout was, I doubt many would have found it worth it. Thanks for watching this episode of the Trivia Power Hour Gaming. Next episode, we'll be taking a look at games based on the Elder Scrolls series, so subscribe to make sure you don't miss it. In the meantime, you can check out some of my other videos you may have missed, for even more gaming trivia I know you'll like.